everybody, welcome back. This is Barry Johns and this is Studio Talk. You know, recently I was reading through some of my comments and I happened to notice that every once in a while I'll get a comment asking me why it is I complain about certain audio companies from time to time and why I kind of dig in. I've got several videos out there on my feelings and my frustrations as well as my likes of Pro Tools as well as Avid as a company. I also have quite a few videos out there basically indicating if Universal Audio does not do something relatively soon, they are going to box themselves into a corner with their DSP because we are finally at it today. We are officially at that point today. Whereas if you buy the most recent computers out today, whether it's Apple's new M1 or M1 Pro or M1 Max computers that they've got out, or, AMD recently released, I think, the Ryzen 9, which is incredibly powerful for desktop computers. We are finally at a point where these things are just so freaking powerful. There's no need any longer for DSP for low latency monitoring or recording. Now, so I get out there and I complain about Universal Audio sometimes because they're not updating their Shark processors. They've been using the same ones for far too long, forcing their users to have to go out and buy additional satellite units or additional Apollos or whatever just to get that additional DSP processing. That dog don't hunt anymore. That's just not a way forward. So that's an issue I have with UAD. My issue with Avid has to do with their pricing strategy and their subscription model and that kind of thing, and the mere fact that Avid just doesn't really care about its customers. All they care about is getting as much money from you as they can. So yes, I go out there and I get on my rants every once in a while. So why do I do it? Do I have an axe to grind? Am I just pissed off at these companies? No, not at all. I absolutely love Pro Tools. I love Pro Tools. I just can't stand Avid as a company, right? I think UAD is a phenomenal company. I think the products they make, the plugins they make, both, whether it's, plugins or actual hardware units, I think they're a great freaking company and have been for a long time. But it doesn't mean they're perfect. They've got flaws. And I'm a strong believer that social media has the power to change companies and to force them to get their act in gear to do the right thing by their customers. Otherwise, they're just going to sit back and keep milking it for as long as they can because there's not enough people complaining about it. Well, when I do a video out there and it gets watched by quite a lot of people, that starts to ruffle the feathers of some of these companies and starts to make them, or hopefully will start to make them rethink what they're doing. Now, how much influence has this one guy had on these companies? I don't know. I know I had enough influence on Avid to where they reached out to me and started talking to me, and I actually talked to the vice president of product development for Avid about their products and where they were going. So obviously they're paying attention. Universal Audio has commented on all the videos I've done about them, so at least they're not paying attention to what it is I have to say. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm fighting for you and me, okay? Because I can love a company, but I can still push and say, you need to keep up. You need to keep giving me what my hard-earned money has paid for, okay? And so that's why I do this. I'm going to keep pushing certain companies. If a company's not in line and they're not doing the right thing by their customer, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it openly. You can too, okay? If a company does great, I'm going to talk about it because I think they need to be praised for what they do great. So if you're curious why I do these videos sometimes, that's why I do it. I'm just trying to change the narrative. The more people out there saying the truth, telling the truth about where we need these companies to go to support our needs so we can keep giving them our money. Let's just face it, if Avid did what I think they should do, I would continue on with my paying annually and paying the fee to use that DAW. But as if it is right now, as soon as mine expires, I'm done. I'm done. D-U-N, baby, done. Okay? Again, with Universal Audio. I would love to dive into some of their plugins, although I think many of their plugins, okay, because they haven't done anything to them in quite some time, there's competitors coming up and making plugins just as good. But not all of them. They still got some fantastic, amazing plugins in their arsenal. But there's no freaking way I'm going to go out and spend all that money on a piece of DSP hardware that barely lets me run hardly any of those plugins and costs me a fortune. on top of the fact that those plugins are so expensive. So you get my frustration. We're at a time, I understand that Universal Audio needs to do that because it's their version of the iLock. It's their way of copy protection. Okay. Find a different way of doing it. Okay. If you want to sell me a piece of hardware that has to be plugged in while I'm doing it, okay, then sell me that. But that shouldn't cost more than $100. Okay. At the most. So I'm sure there's a way to figure this out. But it's time to start making those plugins native because people will start buying them like crazy. You already have a massive loyal following. So why not continue that? Because if you don't, people are going to start jumping ship just like they did from Avid. Avid is no longer the powerhouse they used to be. They are no longer the industry standard and haven't been for a long time. So that's why I do this. I'm pushing these companies to do the right thing by folks like you and me. So if you like my videos, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Until next time, have a great day.